Nice to meet you, Eugene.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It's so glad to showing the two fascinating, excellent drummers. And this one is the famous metal drummer of China, and this one is the famous metal drummer of the world.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. The first question, how long do you practice every day?
0. This is not a joke. I rehearse only when we practice with the band together. Most of the time I try to take as much time off as I can, especially after tours.
Yeah.
Because like when you're on tour and you play every day for weeks or months, your body gets like, it accumulates all the muscle memory, you know, all the work, and then you need some time to process it, digest it, you know. So usually when I come back from tour and I don't touch drumsticks for like 2-3 months at all, I have the best results because I let my body to recover and relax and process. And then you come back 3 months later after not playing and you feel like you're on the next level, you know? So that's why I prefer to cluster it like this. So 1 month of intense touring and practice, whatnot, and then 3 months of nothing. And when I do nothing, I don't want to even think about drums, you know. And then you miss it. You come back and you feel like, oh, yes, let's play again.
And it's happy.
Exactly. You don't want to burn out, you know, if you play too much.
Yeah.
So,
don't play too much.
But in the past, it's true. Yeah, I practiced a lot, of course. And usually when I prepare for something like studio recording or tour, I can spend like 4 or 5 hours every day, like 1 week before a tour. So like it's grind. Then I do the tour and then nothing for months.
Okay, thank you. The second one, do you have any advice for the beginner metal drummer?
Oh, yeah, well, definitely one thing that I try to advise to anybody and everybody is play in a band. Make sure that you form a band or 2 or 3 or 10 bands, doesn't matter. The more you do, the better. First steps, in my opinion, which are important, is that you try to have fun with your friends. The problem is, nowadays, we have a lot of internet, YouTube tutorials, videos, and everybody sits down and is like, oh, I want to play like George Collias, I want to play like Francesco. And they start searching on like technique stuff. And they start nerding out with technique, swivel, double strokes, triggers, and all that stuff. And like it's easy to lose yourself there and you don't know what to start with. And in my opinion, you'd rather start and play shitty, but enjoy it and play music with your friends. And think about technique later, you know. Eventually you will understand and figure things out later on your own. Like that was the main important thing for me, at least. And first thing that I teach to do people is to play songs, like some very simple stuff, like AC/DC, some Rammstein, some very simple beats, but they can listen to a song, play to it, and they already kind of feel like, I'm already a drummer, I am in a band, and then the technique and all that stuff comes later, you know, obviously. So form a band and try to play with as many different people as you can. That's the most probably important thing. Because if you start with only technique, you're going to be like, holy shit, this is actually pretty tough. And you're going to be, you know, frustrated and you're going to spend hours and hours on perfecting some technique without even understanding like, okay, why am I doing this? And then you're going to give up. That's the problem. So like it's important that from the very first day you have the motivation and enthusiasm that kicks in while, you know, enjoying forming a band. So for me that was the most important thing, that we started playing in a band, everybody sucked, we were all terrible, but it didn't matter because we had fun playing music.
Enjoy the music.
Yeah, and that's very important because that will keep you going later, years later. Okay, so you know, band and joy first, technique and nerdy stuff later.
Thank you. Okay, the third one, what's the most important point to be a good drummer on your opinions? Like a profession drummer.
Okay, you like a job.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a very, very useful saying is that if you're asking yourself if this is what you want to do in life, and ask yourself this question, would you be willing to do it for the rest of your life for free? You know, and if the answer is yes, then yes, this is your thing. You know, like the kind of job that you have, if you really think that this is your dream job and you enjoy it, you should be willing to, like, without any doubts, agree to do it without getting paid, which is of course tough. But then it means that it's your passion, you know, and it's your calling. And then it's tough, of course, when, you know, you treat this as a job, but it's also a hobby. Because when it's a job, you know that you must do it to a certain degree because you need to pay your bills. and then you maybe lose the joy in it after the eyes just work. So it's very tricky. This kind of a hobby, joy, and job balance is something that I am figuring out myself a lot too. But every time, what's very, very important is that if you're having a hard time and you're not enjoying yourself anymore doing it, you need to stop for a second and just think, why did you start playing drums? Okay, you started because you wanted to have fun. Yeah. And if you're not having fun, something needs to change. It's like that. You need to make changes in order to bring back the joy, because otherwise, why are you here? Like, playing death metal is already super hard. And why would you struggle if you don't enjoy it? Like, you might as well just have an office job and make more money and don't struggle. So if you don't enjoy it, then it makes it something is wrong, and you need to reflect. You need to think about it and maybe make some changes. So this is very, very important.
Okay, thank you. The last one. Could you give some encouragement to inspire your Chinese fans?
Hello, ni hao. Yes, learn from the best local drummers. So that's it. You have everything that you need already here. So thank you very much for spreading the extreme metal word. That's very, very cool. Honestly, super nice to see how things are developing here. This is my first time actually playing these regions. The feedback is great on this tour. Great attendance. Fans are awesome. The hospitality is super cool. So it gives a lot of hope, because for metal bands, mainly it's Europe and USA or Canada. So you always tour the same places again and again and again. And the world is a very, very huge place. And this is a very, very huge country. There are a lot of people here. And when you come here and you see that it makes sense to come here, because there are a lot of people. People are interested in attending the shows and developing this whole scene as on its own. That's already super cool, because I'm sure that in 5, 10, 15 years from now, this market here in Asia is going to be huge also for metal music, and it's so cool to see that it's finally happening. Please keep building this metal scene here together.
Building the metal scene in China.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're going to be the first one who's going to carry the torch. So, and hopefully everybody's going to follow you. So thank you.
Thank you very much for tonight. My pleasure.
Thanks for having us again. It was awesome.
Thank you. Okay, see you next time.
Hopefully very soon.